Yo, what is good with y'all? In today's video, I'm about to show you guys how to make the strongest battlegrounds as a whole. If you've seen my other videos, you've definitely seen this is like maybe the fifth video I've done on the strongest battlegrounds, right? So I was thinking that I pretty much combine everything that I've like kind of done so far, like with my videos with the how to make the ultimate bar, how to make the ultimate, the skill set selector, all this stuff, and like I present it to you guys. Because pretty much with my most recent video with the ultimate bar, it's up to date with the skill set selector. It features the skill set selector, ultimate moves, and what was the other thing? The ultimate moves. Oh, yes, the ultimate bar and stuff like that. So it features that. So I'm pretty much going to have a series just like the how to make an FPS game series where I'm going to have parts. This is part one, of course. I'm going to show you guys how to just generally put together the game similar to the strongest battlegrounds, right? Not the exact same, but pretty similar, right? I took a picture, right? I took a screenshot. I went in game, took a screenshot so I could just have this to model and stuff, right? So I'm going to set a couple things up. If you've seen my other videos, you're definitely going to see things that look familiar and stuff is pretty much the same. I'm kind of just showing people how to set it up, and then I'm just going to talk about generally some other things that I'm going to be setting up. Okay, so first, do not get overwhelmed by the amount of things you see. I'm going to go into each thing and I'm going to break it down to you. Okay, first things first, in the strongest battlegrounds, as you guys know if you play the game, which I'd assume you do play the game, that's why you're here, you know that like when you die or if you reset your character, you will respawn but not in the same position. You will respawn not at one spawn position, you will respawn at like there's not just one spawn, there's multiple spawns and you respawn at any of those spawns, right? So pretty much if you're trying to make the strongest battlegrounds, you need multiple spawn locations. Go up here and click model and then click spawn to insert a spawn. And I'd recommend if you're following this along exactly as I'm doing, name them exactly like this. The words spawn and location, capital S, capital L, and then number it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like I have. You guys can have as much spawn as you want. I typically think 4 is good enough because I can't really say you get spawn killed. There's 4 options, like it's, you know what I mean? And then it's like if someone's kind of chasing after you, it's a 1 in 4 chance. So it's like, you know, so I think 4 spawns are good. Then I have a rig here just to test. This rig is just simply just to test things. So you guys could really just go to avatar, click rig builder, and choose the rig of your choice, right? And then we're good on the workspace. Okay, so in replicated storage, these are pretty much the same thing. So these are your regular characters. When you click the characters button and you select the character, these are the abilities you get inside of these folders. So simply in replicated storage, you would insert a folder. You would name that folder characters, right? Then you would insert a folder inside of characters and you would name it character and then numerical order, you know, character 1, character 2, character 3. And then inside of that you would put a tool, because the way my system works is I pretty much use it to where it's tools. My system works where it's tools. Tools are things that trigger, like kind of similar to blocks fruits. It triggers the abilities and the abilities, attacks, whatever. Right? So you would insert a tool, you would just insert tool, right? And then you would name the tool whatever you want it to. I would recommend disabling require handle because you're not actually like modeling a tool or anything and stuff. And I would also recommend disabling can be dropped. I know I have it enabled, but I honestly just stay forgetting to disable it. So yeah, because obviously we don't want people to be able to just, you know, drop abilities mid thing. So pretty much inside, these are placeholders. That's why they look a little different than this, right? But yeah, so inside you would want to have a sound and an animation. And just like before, you would click the plus icon, type sound, animation. And then you would insert your IDs. You would just throw your IDs into here and like literally just type the number, press enter, and it'll autofill the RBX asset ID and the same thing over here. It'll autofill all that. All you need is your ID. Just throw it into the ID portion, and then boom, it autofill it for you. So name it animation and sound. The names need to be the same. Like for all of them, it just needs to be sound and animation. That's all you need to do. But of course, you can name the tools and characters folders differently and stuff, right? So yeah. This simple. So ultimate characters, Pretty much it's the same. The only difference, as you can see, it's the same. The only difference is that there is a sound and animation inside of the character folder itself rather than just inside of the tools. And this is because since it is your ultimate, you guys know when you're about to get your ultimate, you have like that animation playing stuff. I think there's like one where like you kind of drop to the ground and then like you wipe blood off your your mouth and stuff. It's pretty tough and stuff, right? That pretty much is what this is. This would be, you name it awakening sound, and name the other thing awakening animation. This is what would play like right before you get your awakening abilities, the sound, the animation, right? And then you would put this in ultimate characters. And then like I said, they're placeholders. That's why it just says skill 1. There's no actual animation ID or there's no actual animation or sound ID inside. You pretty much refer to character 1 on both of these to see exactly how you would do it, right? And it's the same process as I explained before. You would put these folders, so pretty much you have a folder, then you have a folder inside of another folder, then you have animations, sounds, tools, and yeah, and you would put both of these folders in replicated storage. And then of course you're going to need a remote event, the character handler event. This is the remote event that's going to manage pretty much all the strongest Battleground stuff. Now obviously for the actual game, I would recommend probably having multiple remote events and stuff, but since this is more of a general, this remote event just handles the character selecting, I just went with just one, but you guys probably have more, right? Then there's the GUI. You can't see it from here, but if I were to click play, you would see it in the top left. So I pretty much, I messed around with the positioning. It took me like, I don't even know, it took me like 20-30 minutes and stuff, where I got it to position right next to the chat, and it looks very similar, like the color and everything. Then if I left click, you guys see it tweens all nicely. Then if I click character 1, I'll respawn at any of the 1 random locations, because if you watch this, as you guys can see, I switched positions and stuff, and then I get the skills. Then if I go back to character 1 and if I press it, boom, you guys see the animation play, and it'll also do damage. I don't think it'll damage, okay, yeah, well, okay, so I have it set up, yeah, there we go. So as you can see, I'm dealing damage, right? And stuff. So yeah, so that's just pretty much showing off the UI. Now to get into how you make it. So you would insert a screen GUI into starter GUI and name it character selector GUI. So by default, you want it to be enabled. Make sure you uncheck ignore GUI nil set. Wait, ignore GUI. Wait, no way. Oh my god. Wait, GUI inset. But I've called this nil set for. Wow. Okay. Anyway, ignore GUI inset, right? You want it to be unchecked, because pretty much that means if it's unchecked, that means it'll be able to bypass the top bar here, so it can go all the way to the top. And then you also want to disable reset on spawn, because the script will handle all the closing and opening of the UI, whether the player dies, switches character, whatever the case may be. The script will handle all of it. So disable reset on spawn, and then that's all you gotta do for the UI properties. Then inside, let's cover the text labels. So you want to have 2 text labels, right? Insert 2 text labels, name one ultimate bar current text label. Current pretty much means the current amount you have filled up in your ultimate bar, right? The current amount, like, so say if the full amount, if we go to sizing, it's 500, right? Now here's what it looks like if I filled it up halfway, 250. You guys see what I'm saying now? This is how much you currently have. Well, this is the full amount. This is how you'll know if, like, okay, the player, they reached the full amount that their bar can have, and they are now ready to use their ultimate, right? And then let me just go through the properties real quick so you guys can see. So for the current bar, make the background color something bright and stuff like that. So I made it red and stuff. I'm gonna just scroll through so you guys can just see the positions, the sizing, and the colors and text properties as well, so you guys can really, because yeah, honestly, trying to explain all that, especially like if I just didn't show it and then go into the comments and stuff, yeah. Then this is the other one, so I'm gonna just scroll through so then everyone sees all the properties, and then you guys can just copy it down and stuff. Then this is for the full one, that's why the color is different, and there's transparent. And then yeah, then you want to insert a button and name it drop down button. This is the see you click. And now I did realize while looking at this screenshot, I did realize actually, actually funny, I did realize that it's not a C, it's actually characters, right? So yeah, you could type out characters if you want. You could just fully type out characters. It doesn't matter the text portion, right? And then the same way I made this UI, you guys can make the other UIs. I'll probably get into making those specific UIs Yeah, I'll probably get into that in a later video, and maybe actually part two. Maybe really, I may just do part two. I may just, yeah, like I may just focus on that for part two. I don't know, but yeah. So once you have your character menu set up, right? In terms of you have the button, you want to enter the UI corner. This is optional. This is just to make it look nice. This is what I went for. Then you would insert a frame into the drop down button and name it drop down frame. Then inside of that frame, you would insert a bool value. Click the plus, bool value, a true or false value, and you would name it UI enabled. And by default, you would set it to false. This, I mean, sorry, you would make sure it's unchecked or false. Actually, same thing. So this is to check if whether or not the UI is enabled as the name is implied. Then you're gonna have a UI grid layout. Please pay attention because a lot of people ask why. A lot of people go in the comments asking me, why can't I change the position or sizing? This is a UI grid layout, which in other words means it controls, it overrides the position and sizing of everything parented to its parent, which pretty much means it controls the size and position of character 1 button, character 2 button, and character 3 button. The properties you put here will determine the properties of this. You see why it's grayed out? You guys see why the properties are grayed out, and then you see is overridden by UI grid layout because it is automatically going to override it with whatever the sizing and padding. Padding is pretty much positioning, because padding is the space in between each individual UI element and stuff. So that's pretty much the space in between, if you didn't know. And you would name it character 1 button, and make sure you please name everything exactly as I've named it, especially in the UI. Please name everything exactly as I named it, because I promise you won't know how to fix it. You won't know how to fix it if or you won't know what to change if you do decide to go with something different. So yes, please just name everything exactly as I named it. And then inside I just have UI corners, which is again optional. So yeah, that's how you put together the UI. Oh, let me just show you guys the property for the drop down button, which is probably the most important. So here are the properties. Then you guys can see the position. Here is the position coordinates and the size and the sizing and stuff to get it to how I got it and stuff, so that it looks like the Roblox, like it looks like it just fits in with the Roblox things. And you guys can just add the text and just put characters, characters, right? And then yeah, that's the UI. And you just leave that in started UI, right? It's that simple. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Then I can get into the scripts, right? Now the reason why I'm not really going to really focus on the scripts is because I have videos focused on the scripts, right? I have videos like that show how to do this. Like if you want an in-depth, like where I type alongside you both of these scripts and stuff, go watch my ultimate bard video. The most recent, well, second most recent one. This is the most recent strongest Battlegrounds video. Go watch the other video. Ultimate bard video came out like a week ago, or actually a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah, go watch that. I'm just going to do a quick little overview of how the script works. You have your remote event, the sound service, your characters folders, your ultimate character folders. Remember, we're getting all of that in replicated storage up here. Then you have the players who can damage table, special brackets and stuff, so I can keep track of what players can deal damage, to make sure that a player isn't dealing damage more than one time, making sure that the attack didn't end and then they're still able to do damage. Then I have the local function that plays animations and sounds. And then it also makes sure to remove the player's name from the table so they can't do damage if the animation has ended. This is the damage handler function, which subtracts the player's health. This is the on-server remote event that pretty much checks for the event type. If a player is switching class, it'll check their health. If they're max health, it'll choose a random spawn. Make sure you change this number to the total amount of spawns you have. I have a total amount of 4 spawns, so I put the number 4 right here. Leave 1 though. You can leave 1 as it is. So if your total number of spawns is 3, put 3. Total number of spawns is 10, put 10. That's simple. It'll choose a random one. And then use some for IV and pairs loop to copy over the skills. Make sure that the current bar is reset back to 0. Then over here, pretty much we have some sounds, triggering the animation player function. This is the function that handles if you make contact with an NPC or a player while an animation is playing and stuff. if you do make contact and your bar is not full, it will increase it by 10. And by the way, I recommend for the ultimate bar, please size it exactly as I sized it and stuff, because this plus 10 is important. Like, don't, like, just do it the way I did it, pretty much. All right. And then over here, here's another 4 IV pairs loop. I believe, what is this for? Skill, I think I'm trying to remember what this is. Oh yeah, this is for ultimate, that's what it is. So this is for ultimate abilities, right? This is pretty much for ultimate abilities. Ultimate abilities work a little differently. For ultimate abilities, I don't want the bar to increase at all, because if you've unlocked your ultimate, you shouldn't be able to, you know, get more on your bar to your next ultimate. That is what it makes sense, right? So it's a little bit less. Then this is the died or mode event. I mean, this is the died event and stuff. So if a player dies, it will clone over their skills once they respawn. Then this is the ultimate remote event. This is pretty much when a player is switching to their ultimate. I'm gonna set their health back to their max health. I'm gonna destroy all of the current abilities they have, then give them the ones they're supposed to have. Trigger the animation player. Here's where the awakening animation and awakening sound come into play. And then yeah, that's the server script. As I said before, I have a video where I literally type it out with you and I explain every line individually. So I'd recommend watching that video if you're interested to know more about that. Then for the local script, it's much simpler. Well, kind of. I got a lot of variables and stuff using the tween service. That's how I animate the buttons to appear at the user input service. Check whether or not players pressing the 1, 2, 3, or 4 key. And then of course the character handler remote events. This is a variable that keeps track of the current class that the player has. Then the local player variable. Then the variables for the characters and ultimate characters folders. This is the function that pretty much keeps track of whether or not a player dies. And if the player dies, it'll fire their remote event so that they will get the skills they had when they died back, unless it was ultimate skills, of course. Right. And then this is pretty much the function that triggers the menu to you know, animate out, so a player can select the character and stuff. And this is to open it, this is to close it. Then over here, what is this for? I think mouse button. Oh, this is the function that handles when you select the character, right? It'll automatically close it, so it pretty much is doing the same thing right here. It'll close it after you select it, right? And then this is the table that stores all of the skills. It stores all the skills, regular skills as well as ultimate skills. Pretty much just to, it's more so used as a way to like know which ability the player is trying to use, I guess. Yeah, I think that's really a way to put it. Like it's really just used as a way to like just keep track of like which ability a player's using. Because if you just keep it all in a table, then you can just easily keep track of it. But anyway, moving on. Onto the user input service function. This is what I was talking about. This checks to make sure the player is pressing the keyboard and that they're not typing in chat, and that the input key code is either 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you have 5 abilities, you would also add 5. If you have 2, you would just delete 3 and 4, and so forth. Pretty much if they select one of the keybinds, then it will fire the remote event. And then if they click the G key, which as you guys know from the strongest Battlegrounds, the G key is what triggers the ultimate mode and stuff. It'll run the checks, make sure they are not dead, as well as make sure that their current bar sizing is equal to their ultimate bar sizing, and if it is, then it'll fire it. It'll fire their mode events and stuff. So yeah, you guys can go check out that video if you're interested in that. But yeah, so once we have all this set up properly, we can then get to working on some things. I put it in a notepad so I could just keep track of it. Okay, so one thing I wanted to just kind of get out the way, because honestly is very simple in my opinion, is working on the leader stats, like the total, like the kills and stuff. Because honestly, I realized when I'm playing the game, when I was like, oh, so it keeps track of kills and stuff, I was like, wow, like that is really easy. Like it literally, y'all would be surprised how quickly it is to just knock that out. Like it's a simple leader stat. So there are 2 leader stats. There's total kills, and as you can see in parentheses, I have data stored, because as you know, total kills will save the total amount of kills you have in your entire like time playing the strongest Battlegrounds, not just in that one server. Then there's kills, which is the amount of kills you have in that server, which doesn't save. So we can go ahead and add this onto this script. We're going to need to just add a couple of things, I guess, right? it's gonna get a little, and I'm not gonna hold y'all. I didn't type this before the video, so I'm honestly like I was thinking about how I'm gonna do it, but I'm typing it with y'all and stuff. So yeah, so pretty much if you've done what I've done with the other, like with the ultimate bar video, or if you followed along and you have everything, I'm gonna add some more stuff now. So first things first, I want to create a data store because I'm gonna need a data store to save the amount of kills the player has, right? And then after I create the data store, I'm gonna need a function to handle the, data loading, data saving, and then of course the regular, and then of course like just the regular stuff which is included in loading. So let me first create a data store. So let me say local kills data store is equal to game get service data store service get data store kills. If you want to watch videos that are dedicated to making data stores or specific things like how to save multiple values to data stores, I have videos on that. You can just leave a comment down below and I will link it to you. Just let me know in the comments. But yeah, so once I set up the kills data store, I want to set up a function. I want to set up a function for not establishing, loading the stats. So when a player joins, they get the stats pretty much. So I'm gonna go about right here, press enter in between the table and local function. I'm going to create another function for when the player joins. I'm gonna say game.players.player added connect function in parentheses put PLR, which is short for the player who joined. Press enter. And honestly, I haven't written a data store function in a while. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I think I remember though. Okay, so and now I'm going like okay. So first thing first, I'm gonna need a key, right? What I would recommend for your key is I would recommend going by the player's user ID, not player username, since people can change the usernames. I would recommend going by user ID. And also, before I get into this, make sure you have data stores enabled. So go to game settings and go to security, and then enable studio access to API services such as data stores and stuff. You need to enable that and make sure your game is published, of course. So when players join, I'm going to, I guess I'll first establish the key, I guess that would be a good thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make a variable for the key. I'm going to say local key, go to player.userid. Then I'm going to create the leader stats. I'm going to say local leader stats. Of course, I'm going to make it a folder, so is equal to instance.new folder. Then I'm going to, I'm going to parent it to the player. I'm going to say leader stats.name is of course equal to leader stats. Make sure you spell this exactly as is, because if you don't spell it in the name in this part right here in the quotation marks, then it won't, the leader stat like won't appear. It'll be in a folder under your player, but it won't appear. Then I'm going to create both kills values. I'm going to say local total kills. This is the one with the data store. It's equal to instance. Actually, no, let me create regular kills before I do total kills. So I'm gonna say local kills is equal to instance dot new number value parented to leader stats. Then kills dot name is of course equal to kills, and by default kills dot value is equal to 0. Then I'm gonna get into total kills. So local total kills is equal to instance dot new number value parented to leader stats. Then total kills dot name is equal to total kills, and then total kills dot value by default is set to 0. And then I'm pretty much gonna check if the player has any data. So I'm gonna say, actually, I'm gonna delete this. So I'm gonna Control C. I'm gonna delete this part right here because I don't like it kind of at the top. So I'm gonna paste this right here. Then I'm gonna set up data. So I'm gonna create a variable for data. I'm gonna say local data is equal to what is it? Kills data store, get async, yeah. Get async, then put your key in, which is, of course, the player's user ID. That's what we're using. I'm going to say if data, then pretty much confirms that the player has data and stuff. So there's data to load. So if the player has data, then I'm going to set total, then I'm going to set total kills dot value equal to, let's see, data regular bracket 1, right? And like I said, I have a video explaining how you can save multiple values to data stores, but watch that if you're interested to know about how the brackets and numbers work and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna set total kills dot value is equal to the first value in the data store, because I'm only saving total kills, not kills. So yeah, and then I'm gonna have an else statement because, actually, do I need, actually, no, I don't even need an else statement because by default it's set to, yeah, actually, never mind, I don't, because by default it's set to 0. So if the player has no data, then it would just be, yeah, then it would just be set. So yeah. But anyway, I'm going to set up the data store. I'm going to set up the data saving function, right? Then I'm going to wrap all of it in a pcall function so we can, protect the data, ensure that it's being saved and loaded, right? So I'm going to create a function for when the player leaves. So game.players. Honestly, I would honestly, to be honest with y'all, I would honestly recommend you do this on a different script. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I would, yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let me do that. Insert a server script into server script service, and then we'll just name it leader stats. I would just put this on a different script because there's already enough functions on the script. Just copy and paste what we've done so far. Paste that, delete that, because it's a lot of stuff on here, and it's just not good to have like a lot of stuff on one script, especially if it's like if it doesn't even deal with what's specifically on that script. But anyway, let me set up this other function. So game.players.player removing connect function in parentheses, put PLR same as before. This time I'm going to set up a pcall, and then I'm going to go back to the first one and type a pcall because I kind of forgot to. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've done a data store video. I've just been doing combat videos. But anyway, so I'm going to say local success, comma, error message is equal to pcal function, close parentheses, enter. And then I'm going to say, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of forgot. I'm sorry, my brain is just not working because it's been a minute since I've done this. I think honestly, I just type it regularly. I'm going to set up the key, so local key is equal to player.userid. Then I'm going to set up the table for data saving. So local data table is equal to special brackets, and then I'm going to insert each value in descending order. So table.insert player dot, this will not autofill by the way, so make sure you type it correctly. Leader stats dot total. Make sure you do total kills dot value, not make sure you do total kills dot value, not just total kills. Make sure you do dot value. Make sure it's total kills and not regular kills. We're only saving the total amount of kills, not regular kills. We're going to save that to the table, and then after that, I'm going to set the data store. So it's called kills data store. Set a sync. Then the key. I'm going to put the key, and then I'm just going to put data table because we're saving the data table. And that's all you got to do there for data saving. And then I'm gonna use a while loop, pretty much ensure that the data is saved. So while not success, which means pretty much it hasn't worked. While not success, I'm gonna have a wait 3 seconds. Make sure you put a wait so that it doesn't crash your game or your studio. So I'm gonna have a wait 3 seconds, and then great thing is you can literally copy and paste. Just copy and paste this. Control C and Control V stuff. This is just, to just make sure that the data is being saved. Then I can go up here and I can and I can wrap this in a pcall as well, about right here. So I'll say local success, comma, error message is equal to pcal function, close parentheses. You can go right here and press enter and then end. And then let me delete that. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh wait, I'm tripping. And with a parenthesis on the outside, right? And then of course I'm gonna go on the outside of the pcal function, and then of course do the same thing I just did on the player removing. So while not success, do wait 3 seconds. You guys can choose the wait time as long as you want, but I recommend going with that. I'm going to pull the player's data if they have any, and if they do, I'm going to load the data. So just like that, we have now added the kills leader stats, kills, and total kills leader stats and stuff, right? We can go ahead and let's test this and see if everything is looking good so far. Okay, there we go. We have leader stats at the top and kills and total kills. Well, I'd probably recommend putting a space there. The only problem with putting a space is that I have to remember I'd have to remember to put a space here and stuff. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that because I'm pretty sure people wouldn't wonder about that. Okay, so let's put a space. And so I'm gonna do total kills, right? So the way this works is you can't do it like this. Like, no, like, you can't do it like that. Like, that's like, and then put a space here. That's not gonna work. Nor could you do it like total kills. That's not gonna work either. What you need to do is delete that dot, then do a bracket, well, two brackets, and then in quotation marks, and then leave the outside dot. Leave the dot on the right side. Leave that dot, right? Now inside the brackets, now inside the quotation marks inside of the brackets, you're going to put total kills. That's how you would do it, just in case. And this is actually very useful, not just for just data stores. It's useful for if you're trying to reference something. If you're trying to reference really anything that has a space in between its words, like it has words and stuff, like how these words are connecting. If there was like a space, like character space selector space GUI, this is how you would reference. This is how you would reference it by using brackets and stuff. So honestly, very valuable teaching lesson. Not gonna lie. So yeah. And then after that, here I need to add the where the player gets the kills. So the great thing is I literally would just have to go down here and then just, this is the damage handler function. So this was what essentially would kill a player. So I'm going to say if character to damage dot humanoid dot health is less than equal to 0, which would mean the player is currently dead. Then I'm going to, okay, and I just realized there's no way for me to reference the player. I just realized there's no way for me to reference the player. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to head on over to damage handler function, wherever it's called. Let me look at that real quick. Okay, so it's called there. So it's called, let me see, it's called there and there. Okay, so I'm going to send over the player's character this time. So just put a comma, character. Make sure you do character, not characters, not plural, singular character, right? I'm sending over the character. So characters to damage is obviously the enemy character. Then regular character is, you know, the player's character. So if their health, if the other character to damage, the character who's supposed to be damaged health is less than or equal to 0, that means the player is essentially dead. So I can really get the player. I can really locate the player actually. Actually, better yet, let me, instead of doing character, let me send over the player actually. That would actually save me time. That would honestly save me time, not gonna lie. So instead of character, sorry guys, put PLR, because this is gonna honestly save me time. If I just directly send over the player instead of having to go look for it. So I'm gonna say player leader stats. Again, please pay attention. This one autofill. Leader stats. Remember what I said before. We're gonna put brackets and quotation marks. Total kills value is plus equal 1. This means it'll increase by 1, and you don't have to worry about saving, because remember, when a player leaves, it'll automatically save whatever the current value is and stuff, right? And then you also want to, of course, increase the regular amount of kills. So player dot leader stats dot kills dot value plus equal to 1. And then you don't have to do anything else with regular kills because it just won't save. Like, you would have to create a method for it to save. So there's nothing to do to prevent it from saving and stuff. Because we created a method for total kills to save, but not for regular kills to save. So we're good on that. So like I said, let's go ahead and test this. Let's make sure everything we're doing so far is, you know, working just right, just as we wanted to. Let's go ahead and click play. Again, make sure you go to game settings and security and you enable data stores. Oh wow, that is very, oh Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go back to the C. I'm gonna go back to a regular C, but you guys can play around with the sizing and positioning of it and see what you like. So we have kills, we have total kills, right? So let me go ahead and test this out. If I select character 1, and if I go kill the rig real quick, both of these should go up by 1. If I spam the abilities, boom, right? Both of them increased by 1. If I go here and check my leader stats, both of the values set to 1. Now, if I leave, it may not save because how quickly I exited and stuff, because it is a little different. Yeah, I was thinking it wasn't gonna save. Wait, let me just double check that everything. I'm not success to able to insert set async. Okay, I'm gonna do this a little differently. If it doesn't save, then that means there's a problem with the script and I wrote something wrong. So I'm gonna kill the player, right? Or the NPC, I guess in this case. I'm gonna kill the NPC and I'm going to disconnect my player like this. I'm going to disconnect like that, right? Because remember, data can only save if the server is still up and running. So pretty much. Oh, and I found it. Oh, I see the problem. I forgot to reference the table. I see the problem. Alright, I forgot Wow, I created a table and forgot to reference it. Okay, so put data table, comma, then your leader stat. I actually recall this happening before. So put a comma, boom, and there we should be good now. Should be good now. But I do remember this happening before. Okay, so if I switch to character 1, right, and then I go over, find the rig, beat the rig up, boom, get it down to 1, stop. Yeah, you guys see how it's taking a lot longer. It took a lot longer. About like an extra 3 seconds. Boom. Kills didn't save, but total kills did save because like I said, we got it right with data saving. So yeah, so just like that we have set up kills, and yeah. And then for the other UI, like I said, you guys can honestly just use this as like your use this as kind of the guide for at least the sizing and positioning of it. Use this as the guide. Because all you would really have to do, essentially all you would really have to do is honestly just I'm gonna change this back to C because the word is just too long. But anyway, all you'd have to do is just go to the position and then just move your other buttons to the right. That's all you would have to do. And obviously I'm gonna get into the actual scripting for them later on another time. Probably the next thing I'm gonna do is the Game Pass character. Yeah, show you how to make a Game Pass character. Actually, wait. No, that might actually have to be a separate video, not gonna lie. That might honestly have to be a separate video. I was gonna say, wait, I could just really, yeah, I was gonna say I really could show that, but then I'd have to, yeah, I'd have to check. Yeah, so I can't, yeah, but anyway, so yeah, what the hell? But I just realized something, wait a minute. That is actually crazy. These people have thousands of, how long do you have to stay in a server for to get that many kills? Jesus Christ. 3,000 kills. I mean, you've been in the server killing someone Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, so I pretty much covered the UI. I covered the UI. We set up the leader stats and stuff. We have our skill set selector set up. We can choose whatever character we want. We have the UI, like you're right, so you can use that as a a starting point for your other UI. Obviously, scripting wise, I know you guys are probably need me for that, but yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to cover was the map. Now you guys know, if you watch my videos, you know I'm not a builder. I don't build at all. The only reason I'm doing this is for you guys. I'm just doing this for you guys. So the great thing is, for me and for you guys as well, the strongest Battlegrounds really and truly is a simple game in my opinion. The scripting is very nice, the effects are very nice, but in reality, the game is very simple. Because you guys did just see me put together the leader stat script in a span of like 5 minutes. The game is very simple in terms of like scripting. Like, it's not complex. Combat wise, it's like, it's definitely a little advanced. But like, what I'm saying is, like, look at the map. The map is simply just trash cans, benches, some trees, and then, you know, just like floors and stuff. Now, I was kind of thinking about getting into how to do this, but then I'm like, I wouldn't really see what you guys would really need me to, because it's like, you would just go to the toolbox, grab some trees, or you would just make a brown part and then just make some leaves, I guess. Honestly, if I had to guess, I would probably say like insert a part and then like scale it for like the main arena. So scale it, and then it looks like it's kind of like flat. Yeah, like it's like really flat down. So like scale it down. As to get that type of gray, that type of material, not really all that much sure, not gonna lie. I think it's like a type of like cobblestone type of material or something. I think it's like a type of. I mean, it kind of looks a little similar, then just a little darker, a little bit of a darker gray. I'll go with this and stuff, but yeah. So you would just, yeah, honestly, to make the middle arena, you would just do this, then you would just stack them on top of each other and stuff. So I would control D to duplicate it. I would just move it. I would literally just move it up a little bit. Let me see. I would just move it on top. Where's the other one? Oh, right there. I would just move it kind of on top and then just scale it, really. That's really all I would do. And just, yeah, just do it like that and then just scale it just like that. That's to kind of give it like the effect like you're kind of walking on top of something, right? Or not really give the effect, because that is literally what you're doing, but yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So that's how I guess you would like just put together the map, and then the trees, it's just like it's just like brown parts and stuff. Like I said, I didn't really want to focus on the map part because I'm a scripter, not a builder, so really and truly I wouldn't be doing you guys any justice, but trying to show you guys how to build a map when I'm not good at building. But yeah, that's so I guess you would just have like you would have like a brown. You would just make the color like brown, and then you would make it wood, and then you would just have like I guess kind of like a spear in green. This is how I know how to do trees and stuff. This is how I know how to do trees. Make it like forest green. Find the grass. Find the grass and throw it right on top, and just like that, you got you a basic. You got you a basic little tree right there. Just like that, you have yourself a basic little tree. Now, obviously, it's not exactly the same as the one Strongest Battlegrounds got, but the difference is with these are just really big parts. That's the difference. Like these are just like it's literally just very just blocky parts like this. This is pretty much this is pretty much the tree. This is the tree parts, and then just rotated a different just rotated and facing different angles and stuff to just kind of give the effect of just, like they're all different when, well, they are different, but you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, this is my first video on making the Strongest Battlegrounds as a whole. I really hope this was helpful because I really was hoping it wasn't just going to be like me restating things I've already done. I wanted to add in a couple things with the leader stats and talk about things and stuff. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. That's what I want to know. Let me know what you guys want to see. What do you guys specifically want to see? Like, what do you guys like? Do you want me to make how to make Game Pass characters? How to make the 1v1 system, the settings UI. Let me know in the comments and stuff, right? That's what I want to know. And as always, if you guys want access to these scripts or models, I'm literally saving this as a file. So if you were to purchase a channel membership or a Discord membership, or subscribe to my Discord server, I should say, then you would literally get the file. You could just drag and drop, and you save plenty of time and stuff, right? Then of course I would assist you. I have a video that actually shows you how to do it, but of course I would assist you if you needed help. So if you guys want access to this script, model file, whatever, or any of my other scripts, models, and files, you guys can become either a channel member or Discord subscriber, Discord member, Discord premium member, I should say, because Discord member is kind of misleading since it sounds like you just have to join the Discord. But yeah, if you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the love and support you guys have been showing all my videos. I'm almost at like 6,000 views every 2 days. I really appreciate it. The channel just hit 300,000+ total views. I'm about to be 200 subscribers away from 2,000. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video. No way. I didn't press controller. Cool. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video.